a macabre appetite. Introducing Issei Sagawa. Issei Sagawa, the Kobe Cannibal, remains a chilling figure in criminal history. His name is synonymous with one of the most grotesque crimes of the 20th century, a crime that continues to haunt the collective memory of those who have heard his story. His heinous act, the murder and consumption of a fellow student, continues to fascinate and repulse the world. The details of his crime are as shocking today as they were when they first came to light, a grim reminder of the depths of human depravity. Sagawa's story is a dark descent into obsession, a disturbing exploration of the human psyche's darkest corners. His actions were not those of a momentary lapse, but a calculated and premeditated act driven by a deep-seated compulsion. His gruesome act in 1981 shocked the world and ignited a debate about legal accountability and the nature of evil. The public and legal systems were unprepared to deal with the sheer horror of his crime, leading to widespread outrage and confusion. Sagawa's infamy stems from his chillingly open admission of his crime and his unsettling lack of remorse. He spoke about his actions with a disturbing calmness, as if recounting an everyday event which only added to the horror. He documented his gruesome act in detail in his book, In the Fog, further fueling the public's morbid fascination with his case. The book provided a window into his twisted mind, revealing the meticulous planning and cold execution of his crime. His story raises disturbing questions about the origins of violence and the adequacy of legal systems in dealing with individuals who commit acts deemed both horrifying and incomprehensible. How does society handle someone who has crossed such a line, and what does it say about our understanding of justice and punishment? Despite the heinous nature of his crime, Sagawa's life after his release was marked by a level of freedom that many found unjustifiable. His release was a controversial decision that sparked outrage and disbelief, as many felt he had not paid adequately for his actions. He became a minor celebrity in Japan, capitalizing on his notoriety through books, interviews, and even appearances in low-budget films. This transformation from criminal to celebrity was a disturbing commentary on society's fascination with the macabre. This morbid fascination with Sagawa, both in Japan and globally, speaks to the enduring human fascination with the macabre and the unsettling nature of his unpunished crime. His story became a media sensation, drawing in audiences who were both horrified and intrigued. Sagawa's story continues to be a source of debate and discomfort, a stark reminder of the potential for darkness that resides within the human heart. It challenges us to confront the uncomfortable truths about human nature and the limits of our legal and moral frameworks. His legacy is a troubling one, a cautionary tale about the complexities of human psychology and the chilling reality that some desires are so dark, so monstrous, they defy comprehension. Sagawa's story forces us to look into the abyss and question what we see staring back at us. The seeds of obsession, Sagawa's early life and disturbing fantasies. Issei Sagawa was born into an affluent family in Kobe, Japan, in 1949. His family was well respected and wealthy, providing him with all the comforts and privileges that money could buy. Despite this privileged upbringing, there was a darker reality lurking beneath the surface. Sagawa was a young boy grappling with disturbing thoughts and fantasies that he kept hidden from the world. From a very young age, Sagawa harbored cannibalistic desires, a fascination with human flesh that he claimed stemmed from a childhood illness. This illness left him feeling weak and vulnerable, and he began to associate strength and power with the act of consuming others. Sagawa's obsession with cannibalism manifested in various ways. He would often draw disturbing sketches and write about his fantasies in his diary, creating a secret world where his darkest desires could flourish. Despite these dark thoughts, Sagawa excelled academically. He attended prestigious institutions like Waseda University and Kwansei Gakuin University, where he was known as a serious and dedicated student. However, his studies were constantly overshadowed by his dark fantasies. He would often fantasize about overpowering and consuming women, his desires fueled by a potent mix of vulnerability, inadequacy, and a perverse fascination with control. These fantasies became more vivid and intense as he grew older. His disturbing urges were further amplified by his physical stature. Sagawa was short and frail, a stark contrast to the strong, dominant women he was attracted to. This physical disparity made him feel even more inadequate and powerless. Sagawa's small and frail physique stood in stark contrast to the tall, strong women he desired. This contrast only deepened his sense of inadequacy and fueled his belief that he could only possess these women by consuming them, making them a part of him. This physical disparity fueled a sense of inadequacy, a belief that he could only possess these women by consuming them, making them a part of him. He would often look in the mirror and see a weak, powerless man, further driving his dark desires. Sagawa's early life paints a picture of a troubled mind grappling with disturbing desires. His fantasies were not just fleeting thoughts, but deeply ingrained obsessions that he could not escape. What began as fantasies soon morphed into something more sinister. Sagawa's desires escalated and he began to plot how he could turn his dark fantasies into reality. This dangerous escalation would eventually lead to his first attempt at cannibalism. This initial act, though unsuccessful, would set the stage for a far more horrific crime that would forever etch his name in the annals of criminal history. Sagawa's journey from fantasy to reality was a chilling descent into darkness, one that would shock the world and leave a lasting legacy of horror. On the 11th of June, 1981, Sagawa, then 32, invited his Sorbonne classmate Renée Hartevelt, a Dutch woman, to dinner at his apartment at 10 Rue Erlanger, under the pretext of translating poetry for a school assignment. Sagawa planned to kill and eat her, having selected her for her health and beauty, characteristics he felt he lacked. Sagawa considered himself weak, ugly, and small. He was 145 centimeters, 4 feet 9 in tall, and claimed he wanted to absorb her energy. She was 25 years old. After Hartevelt arrived, she began reading poetry at a desk with her back to Sagawa when he shot her with a rifle. Sagawa said he fainted after the shock of shooting her, but awoke with the realization that he had to carry out his plan. He could not bite into her skin because his teeth were not sharp enough, so he left the apartment and purchased a butcher knife. Sagawa consumed various parts of Hartevelt's body, either raw or cooked, while saving other parts in his refrigerator. Sagawa also took photographs of at each eating stage. Once the remains of her body that he did not consume started decomposing, Sagawa attempted to dump the remains of Hartevelt's corpse in a lake in the Bois de Boulogne Park, carrying her dismembered body parts in 2 suitcases, but was caught in the act and arrested by French police 4 days later. Sagawa's wealthy father provided a lawyer for his defense. After being held for 2 years awaiting trial, Sagawa was found legally insane and unfit to stand trial by the French judge, who ordered him held indefinitely in a mental institution. After a visit by an author, Sagawa's account of the murder and its aftermath was published in Japan under the title In the Fog. Sagawa's subsequent publicity and macabre celebrity likely contributed to the French authorities' decision to deport him to Japan, where he was immediately committed to Matsuzawa Hospital in Tokyo. His examining psychologists all declared him sane and found sexual perversion was his sole motivation for murder. As the charges against Sagawa in France had been dropped, the French court documents were sealed and were not released to Japanese authorities. Consequently, Sagawa could not legally be detained in Japan. Sagawa checked himself out of the hospital on the 12th of August 1986 and subsequently remained free until his death. Sagawa's continued freedom was widely criticized. Issei Sagawa died from complications of pneumonia at a hospital in Tokyo on the 24th of November 2022 at the age of 73.
I don't want to kill, but I couldn't find any way to eat the girl's meat fresh, so I thought I have to kill.
This is Tokyo's red light district, Roppongi. It's a Saturday night, and like millions of other Japanese men, Mr. Sagawa is looking for love, and in particular, the love of a young Western girl.
Especially white young girls.
You just love young white girls?
Yeah, blonde hair and and blue eyes and white skin.
Mr. Sagawa's heart has already been broken once by a young Australian dancer whom he showered with gifts and money.
And where is this?
In Canada, Toronto.
So you went on holidays together?
Yes.
But the 22-year-old Melbourne girl was lucky, for she quickly learned that her mild-mannered boyfriend had a despicable secret.
I wanted to eat her. She looks very delicious.
For the shocking truth about Issei Sagawa is that he's a psychopath, a killer. He's Japan's most notorious cannibal.
First part I ate is from her hips. Yeah. I don't know why, but the hips of the girls really attract me. A lot of pictures with beautiful girls.
There certainly are a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Here in his bedroom, Sagawa proudly keeps a record of his obsession. Now he'd like another Australian girlfriend, preferably one that he can add to his trophy wall.
Are you shocked?
Yes, I'm shocked.
I know I'm
That's
crazy. I'm crazy. So please don't hate me.
This is Issei Sagawa's hunting ground. It's a lawless place. Here, the mafia is in control. The police are paid to look the other way. In the seedy hostess clubs of Roppongi, it's business as usual, as we discovered when we followed Issei Sagawa on a night out. Here, Japan's most notorious criminal quickly found just what he was looking for: 3 young Australian women. Mr. Sagawa introduced himself as his favourite secret agent
My name is James Bond, okay?
and chatted happily to the unsuspecting girls.
Moths, yes.
I'm very scared of them.
Oh, they're nothing to
Yeah.
be scared of. They're cute.
Yeah.
Issei Sagawa swears that these young women have nothing to fear from him.
Never. Never. At least kill, never. Of course, I want to eat the meat of the young, beautiful girls. It was not change at all.
You still want to
But-
eat the girls, you just
yeah.
don't want to kill the
Yeah,
girls.
so I know now the killing is really terrible. So for eating, I never kill.
By the time he left, all 3 of these trusting young Australians had handed him their private phone numbers. Outside, we politely took the girls' phone numbers back from him.
How dangerous do you believe the Roppongi bars and strip clubs are for young foreign girls?
Of course, it's very, very dangerous because the customers are very rich. They can do anything, everything.
Last time I went to the class, only the white students. My classmates, few girls are very beautiful, very nice looking. This is the present for my birthday of my brother, younger brother, and he is always sleeping. But here is a battery here. I like dogs, but I like living dogs. But unfortunately, I can't do so. I'm full of regret for, of course, my victim, her family, my parents, my brother, everything, everyone. My kind of desire is just the same. When I see all the beautiful girls' legs, I want to eat. So I'm not cured at all.